I got Popeyes. I got Popeyes. You ain't got no fucking Popeyes. I got Popeyes. Unite! Chicken lovers! Repent! Chicken haters! Everyone! Bang your head to the opening riff! You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there that moi, yours truly, would be a bounds better spokesperson for Popeyes than old Bubblehead over there. Never making no sense with all that jive talk. Honey, you can taste it with some of my brand new Louisiana fried undersoul toe jam sauce with her incredibly sassy blackness or incredibly black sassiness. Anywho, but yeah, I'm just throwing it up because I mean, think about it. Would you rather buy chicken from not getting it wrong, because I mean, she do kind of got it going on a little bit, you know. Call me girl. What's up? I didn't say I didn't like bubbleheads, but yo, would you rather buy chicken from her or from that guy? Just saying. I'm just throwing that shit out there so that way within the next couple years when I do end up becoming the official spokesperson for Popeyes, don't be surprised when that's my visual I told you so. But then again, by that point they're going to be like, well, why they keep getting black people to promote the Popeyes? Chicken is for everybody. And yes, they would be right. Fried chicken is for everybody. I'm Pat Collins. I love fried chicken. NBC4. Back to you in the studio. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Jade up here, and welcome to episode 43 of The Real Rush, right here on YouTube. Coming for you. And as you see, I got motivation because I have Popeyes waiting for me down at my cooking station. But not only am I excited because of that shit, but because I got two big things coming for y'all today. Episode 43 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning back in here. So two things. One of them's a movie review. I want to kind of say that in like Pat Collins fashion now. One of them is a movie review. The other is a list that J-Dub has put together of this year's top 11 best movies so far of the first half of season 3 of The Real Rush. And for those that don't know, the seasons start on January 19th every year. So that way, first half, July 19th, anything that we saw in between then that was released in 2019, the best 11 made that list. So we got that coming for you. But like I said, we only got one movie review for y'all. That's what I said for y'all last week. And I stayed true to that because there was only one movie to drop this weekend. And rightfully so. Because as we get to the lone movie on this week's episode 43, get down to the brass tacks of the lone movie on episode 43's Real Rush Tickets. A movie of this magnitude, so fucking epic on such a scale that no other movie wanted to try to compete with it and release during the same weekend. We haven't seen anything like this, ladies and gentlemen, since Avengers Endgame. And speaking of Avengers Endgame, this movie, just like Endgame, much anticipated. But your boy Jada was actually looking forward to this one more than Endgame. How the fuck is that possible? Because it comes from a man, a god to the film, the entertainment, movie industry, known to everyone in the universe as Mr. QT, Mr. Tarantino, Quentin Tarantino. I'm talking about the ninth movie, the ninth film. Ninth film, yes, the ninth film. Difference between movie and film, and I'm gonna get to that in this review. The ninth film from my boy and your boy, Mr. Quentin Tarantino. Once upon a time in Hollywood. I want to say it again. I want to give it a little bit more Biggie Langston. Once upon a time in Hollywood. Long awaited movie. But once again, if I haven't said him enough, I'm gonna say him again. His name again, Mr. Quentin Tarantino. And the man, if you haven't followed his career, his films, they don't just come out like snap. He just doesn't just put out shit. He doesn't just put out shit. Every single one of his movies is an absolute smash. Every single one of his movies is one of my absolute favorites. Where's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and all this? Let's get down to that. So, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, to get down to the story brass tacks of the ninth film from Mr. QT, Mr. Quentin Tarantino. Now, this follows Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. They star as Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth, respectively. Rick he's been a TV star, from the 50s through the 60s, and up until like the late 60s. He was like a major star in the 50s, and now he's been doing like guest spots and trying to transition into movies and stuff. Not quite working out too well. Brad Pitt, Cliff Booth, plays a stunt double, his loyal stunt double that's been with them through like most of these years and whatnot. So, as they're trying to find their way through a change in film industry, this is 1969, y'all. This is like the last years, the last little crest of that wave before the crest broke of that golden age of Hollywood. They're trying to find their way, to stay, I don't want to necessarily say relevant, but that's pretty much true, to stay, afloat in the changing times. And at the same time, who should he live next door to? Rick Dalton lived next door to newly moved in neighbors Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate played by the lovely Miss Margot Robbie. And this does take place in 1969, so this does take place just around the time of the infamous, tragic Tate LaBianca Manson murders. And all that is incorporated into this. All this is in the film. That's the setting. Tarantino. So alright, so for this one, I had to write down some shit because we gonna break down some shit. Because this movie, along with every other Tarantino movie that I have ever seen, which is every Tarantino movie that has ever been made. So, okay. So I'm not just talking all over the place and making this a 52-minute review. It'll just be a 51-minute review. I'm going to try not to. Anyhow, so, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Much like, okay, point number one. I might see it again. I might see it again. I might see it again. Is that good? I might see it again. This is point number 2. This is like, you know how when you've followed, like, let's say a certain musician or a certain band for a long time, right? And they seem to have like a certain style to their music. Like every album doesn't necessarily sound the same, but they have certain trademarks about it. Their sound is, it's constant, better than sounding the same. Does that make sense? So somewhat the same can be said for Tarantino. Now, there are some musicians out there that put out an album after being away for so many years, being on like hiatus, what have you. Excuse me. And when they come out with that next album, something's different about it. And it doesn't quite capture what they were all about, right? What you felt that they were all about. So they've not necessarily fallen out of the mainstream eye, but their true fans are like, what are y'all doing? You're not, that's, I see where you're going, but, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Well, Tarantino, with this movie, he takes his style and he puts a different little twist on it. And it's a Tarantino movie it's like his previous films, but it's so much not like his previous films. And this is one of the rare instances where instead of making you go, I don't know about that, it's like, yes, yes, yes. He still fucking got it. Tarantino still pulls it off and doing some shit that is completely not what you expect. It's what you expect from Tarantino, but not what you expect. That's the best way that I can put it. It's what you expect from Tarantino, but also what you totally not expect from Tarantino. Alright, so that was successful in a blending or somewhat pseudo-changing of styles. So yes, expect Tarantino, but not. It's most certainly Tarantino's most comedic movie to date, but it does still have plenty of shock and creep value and ultra violence and head trip value as only Quentin Tarantino can do. I stress the fact head trip because this movie does take place in 1969. And everybody's been saying this, and I hate to rehash what other people have been saying like over and over and over again. Like I guarantee, like when you see the commercials start running for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starting probably like tomorrow, like or today, whenever you're watching this. I'm filming this on Sunday, so Lord knows when I'll finally get this uploaded. You know damn well that when they start to upload or start showing the commercials, they've got all the little critics reviews and shit. One of those reviews is going to say a true or an absolute or a true to heart or a down to earth love letter to the 60s from Quentin Tarantino. And that statement in itself is 100% true story. Yes. 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 It's it could divide some audiences, I say. And this goes back to the whole expect Tarantino, but not expect Tarantino. Without delving too terribly into it, without spoiling anything, this is a true fairy tale love letter to the 60s, as only Tarantino could do it. So if you put it in that vein, this is the closest in like that alternate universe, surrealistic, revisionist history type deal that Tarantino's done, the closest since Inglourious Bastards. So one, if you loved Inglourious Bastards, I think you're going to love this film. And if you're a Quentin Tarantino film, or fan. Will it divide you? I don't know. I don't think it should. I can see it dividing people, but I don't think it should. Let it sink in on the drive home. It doesn't take very long. Just let it sink in on the drive home and definitely get the soundtrack afterwards, but we're going to get to that in a second. So yes. Actually, yeah. So the love letter and the fairy tale, being a fairy tale, 1969 fairy tale set around such a dark event in not just the entertainment industry, but just in life in general. Like, I mean, if you know anything about the Tate LaBianca Manson murders, like, I mean, that is some witchy shit, y'all. Should you look that up before you go into the movie? It's not gonna hurt looking it up. It's actually not gonna spoil anything looking it up. So yeah, Wikipedia that shit away. This is a perfect TV, movie, radio, all over entertainment homage to that era. Not just 1969, but being a man who has grown up. Think about it. I was born in 82, so I grew up watching broadcast TV, shit on syndication. So at that time, from 82 to like the early 90s, all that I really watched were reruns of shit from like 1955 on, like I Love Lucy on up. So seeing like, and thinking about like the commercials of that shit in that time, like the ads and shit, like it just captured that stuff perfectly. Plus one of the couple of the albums that I bought when I was a kid were called TV Tunes, and they had TVT Records actually sold these albums that had all these old school like commercials from the 1950s and 60s and 70s and 80s. They had like TV themes and shit like that, and it just took me back to that era, just because that's an era that I grew up loving and just like being so enamored with. So it took me back to my childhood, which in turn took me back to 1969 without actually having fucking been in 1969. I don't know how I got on that tangent, but you know what I'm trying to say to y'all is that it's a perfect homage to everything, down to the ads that play on the radio and the TV and shit, and like the trailers. I don't want to get too much away. You gotta see it. Like, I mean, Quentin Tarantino, you know that he's not gonna go wrong with a period piece. This is such a perfect period piece that I would like to one day double feature this at a movie theater along with Inherent Vice. I think that those two would match up well together. This has a 2 hour and 41-minute running time. It does not feel like that long. Inherent Vice is not too terribly shorter than that. It also does not feel like it's 2.5 hours. I think that would be a good 5-hour-ish movie festival right there. Maybe even throw Nice Guys in there to keep that film noir aspect going on. But keep it on with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, the soundtrack. If you saw my Instagram post going into the movie, I stated verbatim as what I'm about to say. I cannot wait to see what kind of soundtrack this man has put together and or curated excuse me, for this movie. And holy shit, once again, only like Quentin Tarantino could do. It's a perfectly curated soundtrack, to go back to my Pat Collins voice. The soundtrack alone, okay, as soon as I got out of the movie, I saw the 7 o'clock showing. I didn't make it to the opening showing on Thursday. Womp womp, I know, but I saw the 7 o'clock showing on Thursday night. And as soon as I got out of it, and as soon as I got back here to the vault, I got on Amazon Music, and I fucking bought it. But what I didn't know is that it didn't drop until Friday. But that's okay, because I bought it at midnight, and then next thing I know, it downloaded a couple seconds later, because it was after midnight. So booyah, I got an email that said, thanks for your pre-order, and then thanks for your order. Awesome. The soundtrack itself is set up much like the driving sequences in this movie. Because if you see the movie, you're going to want to get the soundtrack. If you're a true Tarantino fan, or if you're a nostalgic enthusiast just to begin with, you are going to want to get this soundtrack. Just the way that it is curated. With it's got a great blend of the music from the movie and some of the aforementioned ads at the time. And that's the best I can say about that without giving too much away. But like the driving sequences that I mentioned a second ago, I love those. It's as if like Tarantino and the cast and crew got transported back to 1969 in a DeLorean and just shot that shit all over the streets of LA 1969. The cinematography is beautiful. It almost has like a La La Land feel to it, but with grit. And non-musical, obviously. So there's the colors that Tarantino brings to the table, that is his usual palette, but there's also that Tarantino grit. So boom, we say that about that. So the way that it looks on the screen, and this is what I meant earlier when this is not the 9th movie by Quentin Tarantino. This is the 9th film by Quentin Tarantino, because this is not just a movie or a film. This is cinema, folks. This shit is cinema. This is not your average, alright, let's go to the movie and see your run-of-the-mill blockbuster, blow them up shit. No, this is cinema. This movie is made to be seen in the theater. Go see it in the theater before it hits home media. Tarantino makes his shit for the theater. See this movie in the theater. It looks so good on the silver screen, and anybody else who has seen this will agree with me. It's an unconventional buddy movie. Did I skip over something here? Wait a minute. Did I skip over some shit here? Yes. No, I didn't skip over anything. Yes, I did skip over something. It's an unconventional buddy movie. So that being said, I absolutely love the friendship and the chemistry in between Leo and Brad Pitt. It reminded me of a friendship between me and one of my best friends who's no longer with us, miss your brother. But yeah, just that was really cool. Brad Pitt fucking nails his role as Cliff Booth. He's the absolute scene stealer of the movie, in my honest opinion. But Margot Robbie is stunning as hell as Miss Sharon Tate. You have Emile Hirsch, you got Bruce Dern, you got Dakota Fanning's up in there, Margaret Qualley, Annie McDowell's daughter. Just the stacked cast as only you would expect Tarantino to bring to the table. But no Sam Jack. I know. This is the most, as far as I could tell, there was no Sam Jack in it. If I'm wrong, please let me know, but I might see this again, so we will know. Yeah, this would be the most recent Tarantino movie that has no Sam Jack presence since Death Proof. Now, that gets me to another thing here. As far as Tarantino movies go, and you can fight me on this shit as hardcore as you want. Is this the 9th film from Quentin Tarantino? Absolutely. Do I count Death Proof as a Tarantino film? Absolutely. Because it is part of a double feature. Is Grindhouse one film? Yes. But it is still a double feature. It was set up like that. I also count Kill Bill as one film because that was meant to be released in one lump sum. But the fucking theater companies and everybody was like, nah, we ain't gonna play no 4-hour fucking Quentin Tarantino movie. Now I bet you they'd be jumping at the bit to play that shit, wouldn't they? So yeah, Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair is one whole bloody affair. So boom, since Kill Bill's all one movie, and you put Death Proof back into the mix, that still keeps this as Quentin Tarantino's 9th motherfucking film. Where does it rank? I can't rank the fucking Quentin Tarantino movies, with the exception of Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown. Now, all of them are my favorites, as I stated a couple moments ago. Pulp Fiction is, hands down, my absolute all-time favorite movie of all time, tied with Inception. That has been an ongoing battle with me for the last 9 years. Trust me, it's brutal, the fight that is going on inside my soul for that shit. But Jackie Brown, I would say that would probably be like his weakest movie, which, I mean, to use that term loosely, and that's still a damn good movie. The man does not make bad movies. I mean, the only reason that I say like Jackie Brown would be like his would be like the lowest on his totem pole, at least in my mind, is because that is the only one that is not an original work by Tarantino. Everything else, blah, blah, blah. So everything else is from his fucking mind, man. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I might see it again. If you haven't seen it yet, go see this movie. Who's this movie for? It's not for everybody. There is some brutality in it. It does hold one of his lowest body counts, I noticed, in this movie to date. If you're not counting the on-screen, like what's happening like during like the TV scenes or like the movie scenes. And that's not really giving much away right there. So yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, who's the movie for, is not for everybody. But if you haven't seen a Tarantino movie yet, this is definitely not a bad start. Tarantino movie for beginners. Fisher Price, my first Tarantino movie. But Tarantino fans, this is who this is for. If you are a lover of period pieces, this movie is for you. Get the fucking soundtrack. I just spent half an episode, not even half an episode, but a long time of this episode talking about Once Upon a Time in motherfucking Hollywood. And if you've seen my, like, follow me on my shit the last couple days, I think more on Facebook. I probably pissed a lot of people on my Facebook off, but I mean, yeah, everybody's all going on about stupid ass memes and gifs and shit and posting the same shit over and over and over. So I just went on about Once Upon a Time and Hollywood shit on and on and on, like music wise. So fuck y'all. If it was too much, damn it, I just kept going on. So I'm gonna keep going on about this shit right here. Actually, no, I'm not. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, y'all, is 5 stars. And if it came out in the first half of season 3, so if it came out July 19th and before, or if we saw it before July 19th, it would have easily made the top 11. But alas, that is not the case. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, go see that movie in the theater. I cannot stress that shit enough. Go see the shit in the theater. It is made for the theater. It is cinema at its finest. They do not make movies like this anymore. Tarantino just straight makes movies like they do not make anymore. I cannot wait for this to drop on home media. But until then, I might see this 2, 3, maybe even 4 times if time permits. Because I think next weekend, looking at the fucking schedule, it's not too terribly big. Unless some more shit pops up. So, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah. Go get you some. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And holla at your boy. Let me know what you thought. Whether this is your first foray into the Tarantino verse or not. Let me know what you thought. Tarantino, thank you so much. You get the Real Rush Golf Clap of the Week. A full on golf clap. Full on fucking Rush Clap. We put the pen down and everything for that shit. Go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, y'all. Right about now, Once Upon a Time, I'm gonna have some water by Deer Park. Because I'm drinking it and they paying for it. Frank a Lake! Okay. Becky. What a bitch. Water. Give her life. And that's on a fucking empty stomach, so I'm gonna probably have to pee in about 2 seconds. So, that is one part of episode 43. Like I said, we got 2 things for y'all on this episode. Now that I've drank some water and calmed down a little bit, Unless there's anything else that I forgot about. Oh, ow, damn. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Which I don't believe that there is. No. 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 Oh, yes. Glad I put this back up at the screen. Stay through the credits. Just like any other big movie, that part is still true. Stay through the fucking ending credits of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Booyah. And go see that shit. So I can talk to people about it now. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket is not a movie review, but, as I stated, now this is a first time ever thing, y'all. And I can't believe I'm doing this with Popeyes that I get to look forward to. That I'm still going, that is. But, anywho, this is the first ever. This is the first time ever. I've never done this in any previous Real Rush season. And obviously I've never done this on camera in any previous Real Rush season because this is the first season that we've been televised. But in any previous Real Rush season, I've always had a top 10, or in last season's case, a top 11. And both seasons I've had a bottom 10. This season I don't think I'm going to do a bottom. Unless 10 really shitty movies come out before the end of season 3 on January 18th, 2020 at 11:59 p.m. As long as I see a movie by that time, it counts for season 3. So that is how the season works. So, any movie that came out between January 19th and that I saw before July 18th, 11:59 p.m. qualified for this year's top 11. And why is it top 11? Because I'm going to keep it in line with last year's top 11 all over list. And just like my boy said in, Citizen King in Better Days and the Bottom Drops Out, crank it to 11, blowing out a speaker hand. I ain't got much to lose, 'cause I've seen better days. I bet it's all a minute, please. So now I'm gonna break it down. The fucking 11 best movies of the first half of 2K19. So you could go ahead and call these the top 11 movies of 2K19 so far via your boy J-Dub here on The Real Rush. So these are the top 11 Rush movies of 2K19 in parenthesis so far. And here they are. As with any other list, or top, bottom, whatever, Rush list, these are in order as they were received into my brain. And they go as follows. Arctic. Everybody Knows, also known as, aka, Todos Lo Saben. Fighting with My Family. The Hummingbird Project. The Beach Bum. The Mustang. Avengers Endgame. Booksmart. The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Toy Story 4. And Wild Rose. If I had to pick out of any of these, what would be the number one movie out of all these so far this year? And I think I could... Man, that'd be close. That'd be close. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna ask y'all, what do y'all think out of those 11 movies would be your number one pick? Do you know of any of these movies that I have just mentioned? Because out of 11 here, yeah, 1, 2, three, only 4 of them were really considered wide release movies. So think about that. I'm not going to be one of those people that sit here and say, well, if you didn't see any of these movies, then you're not watching the right shit. I'm not going to be some pretentious asshole like that. No. But, hey, just saying, it's okay to go outside of your main chains every once in a while, because that is absolutely where you are going to find the finer shit. As a matter of fact, let's see. And I'll include the big wide releases on this one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Shit. 10 of these. 10 out of 11 of these movies. Wait, is that right? Hold on. Okay, 9 out of 11 of these movies. Thank you. I was like, wait a minute. I didn't see no Endgame at... Yeah, 9 out of these 11 movies I saw up at the Angelica. Damn Skippy. Damn Skippy. So, Angelica, Mosaic District. If you're in the DC metropolitan area, that's the place to be, y'all. That's the place to be. Not taking anything away from Cinema Arts either, because Cinema Arts usually shows a lot of these too. But that's the place where you gotta look. You just gotta know where to look, y'all. And then you're gonna be seeing some of these, so don't be surprised if some of these do end up staying on the award season radar when that officially starts in a couple months. And these start popping up, because there's going to be your peoples that are like, I've never heard of any of these movies. Well, your boy's sitting here right now in July telling you what the best movie is, what the Rush best movie is, what I think the personal best movies of this year are so far. These are the ones you want to check out, and that's all I got to say about that, Jenny. So boom, check those out along with Once Upon a Time in San Francisco. And like I said, Once Upon a Time in San Francisco, that's if you took, that's like saying what the last black man in Hollywood. The fuck? So, 2 such good movies that I just completely mashed them the hell together. You know what I'm saying, y'all. I already said it in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood review. So, boom. With that, ladies and gents, is a wrap. I think that's my hungerness setting in. Hungerness, you damn Skippy. That's a wrap for episode 43, ladies and gents. What we got coming for y'all, episode 44 next weekend for y'all. Ooh, what rhymes with 44 and for y'all? We're gonna have Hobbs and Shaw. 44 for y'all. Shaw. Yeah, that shit rhymes. So yeah, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Not sure if the Airbus is showing this one or not, but if they are, that's where I'll be. I was about to say, where should you see Once Upon a Time in San? That's what I forgot to say about fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I almost fucked up the name about the movie again. Here it goes. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I saw the joint at Hoyt's on Thursday. And it was very meaningful to see it at Hoyt's. I would have seen it at Angelica, as cool as that would have been, to see it at an indie theater. But I saw it at Hoyt's because, as I stated earlier, a couple episodes ago, this season, or this year, is 20 years since Hoyt's came into existence. And Hoyt's was also my first ever job. My first ever job, surprisingly, the shocker, was at a movie theater. And it's my favorite job of all time, still, to this day, hands down. Everybody there was cool. There were no assholes about. Everything was lovely. Everything was lovely. Like they said at the beginning of Cash Rules Everything Around Me. So, that is like my home theater. If I had to pick like a local theater, that is my home theater. Absolutely. So, you damn skip it. Like, if Quentin Tarantino was going to go see a movie by his favorite director, he would go see the shit at his home theater. Maybe the one that he once worked at. Or the one that he now owns, the New Beverly, that my boy got a chance to actually run into him when he went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at the New Beverly the other night. You lucky, lucky, lucky sumbitch. Bravo. Bravo. Well done. Well done. But yeah, so, just like QT would have done that, that's what I did. So I saw it up at Hoyton and made it that much more. It made it that much more meaningful. So boom. That was my one thing I forgot about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Back to episode 44. Like I said, Hobbs and Shaw. And we got a new documentary. We got some more somewhat 60s stuff. David Crosby, Remember My Name. And this will be an interesting follow-up, even though it's not by the same filmmaker, but an interesting follow-up to Echo in the Canyon, which is still probably, I'd hold in high regard, and one of this year's best documentaries. Notice how I did not include any documentaries on the top 11 list. Save those for a little bit special occasion later on in the year, because enough documentaries haven't really built up yet. But yeah, that's going to be, those two movies are going to be on episode 44 next week. In the meantime, of course, tickets are available for the next third Friday Stagecoach show, Stagecoach Bandit show, which will be Friday, August, I almost said April, August 18th, August 16th. Popeyes, we coming for you, baby. We coming for you now. But Stagecoach Bandits, Friday, August 16th, 7:30 at Stagecoach Theater Company. Tickets are available now. $12 online, $15 at the door. But if you get them online, and the last show was a sellout, so I do recommend you do so online. You use that promo code John, you'll get yourself a discount. That's that promo code John, and you go to stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. That's stagecoach-thomascoleman.com/stagecoach-bandits. Booyah. Promo code John. And until episode 44, y'all. In the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, any shit like that, feel free to type those on into the YouTube page that you are viewing this week's episode on right here. For those who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, The Real Rush here on YouTube thus far, thank you for doing so. If you haven't done so yet, what are you waiting for? You want to be the first to know when I drop a new episode. And please continue to spread the word of The Real Rush, like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. And as always, let me grab my pen. You follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. That is at JDub Champion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy, JDub. Once again, thank you for tuning in. And once again, when you're at the movies, chill the fuck out. Don't be doing all the talking and the looking at the cell phones and the looking at the smartwatches. Put the phones away, turn the brightness down on them, shut the lips up, and turn the smartwatches off, because I guarantee you, any discussions between you and the people between you, or what's waiting on you on your phone, and even the time on your watch, all that is going to be waiting for you after you get out of the movie. I guarantee it. Enjoy yourselves when you're at the movies, y'all. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace out.